I made this post on Threads 3 days ago now, and it got just under 5,000 views and a decent amount of engagement. And so, whenever I see something like that, I get the indication that it would probably make for a very interesting topic on this channel. And so, I just want to talk you through a more detailed explanation of exactly what I'm describing in this post. And I think that if you're a producer who's trying to take it beyond just like making beats and being really good at beats, then I think this is going to be very valuable for you, because being good at beats, as we discuss and describe in tip number one or step number one of this process, is very important. You can't get anywhere else in this process unless you're actually good at making beats. Like, and you don't have to be like Beethoven, right? You don't actually even have to know how to play any instruments, but you do have to know how to make pretty good music. It's got to sound good coming out of the speakers. It can't sound like dog shit. But as you can see, there's 8 other steps besides making good music that take you towards the path of monetizing successfully as a producer. So first and foremost, absolutely, you do have to make good music. It cannot suck. You cannot be technically incompetent. You cannot be musically inept. It's a very important thing to understand, because a lot of people get upset actually when you tell them, oh, like, you've got to be good at music, and that the issue with you making money as a producer is that your shit sucks. And a lot of people get upset and they're like, no, that's not the thing for a lot of people. It's deeper than that. It's about luck. It's about the music industry being saturated. And it's like, all of those things might be true or they might not be true. But at least for you, homie, I'm listening to your shit right now and it sucks. So I don't know what else you need to deal with moving forward, but you can't get beyond to any of that until you've dealt with the fact that your shit sucks. So it's very, very important. And if you know your shit doesn't suck, you've gotten really good feedback from friends, family, people in discords and things of that nature. If you've even gotten some sales, that's a really good indication that your shit doesn't suck. If you've gotten views on your music or streams on your music, or you've gotten really good engagement on your content related to your beat making, things like that can be indicators that, your shit does not suck. Or if you've gotten your beats reviewed by an established musician on, YouTube or Twitch or TikTok, during a live stream or something like that, you've gotten like some form of feedback that lets you know that your beats don't suck, then you can move on from this phase. But if you haven't gotten that feedback, it's very important to get that feedback, because your stuff might actually be really good. But if you don't have any feedback to confirm that, then you're kind of stuck not knowing if that's the thing that's keeping you from making money. But let's move beyond that, right? Let's say your beats are already really good. The next thing you're going to want to work on is posting content. Now, if you don't want to post content, you should click off this video right now, because this is going to be your brand development vessel. It's going to be your marketing vessel. It's going to be your sales vessel. It's going to be where your sales funnel is housed. It's going to be how you reach people. It's going to be the thing you funnel people towards so that you can provide value and build deeper connections with them. So if you don't want to post content, again, I would recommend clicking off this video, because nothing else is going to work for you. But if you have no problem posting content and you really want to be a successful producer in terms of actually earning money, posting content is going to be very important, because not only is it going to build your brand up, not only is it going to allow you to market more efficiently, not only is it going to make sales a fuck ton easier, it's also going to expand your network. I cannot tell you how many placements, sync opportunities, agents I've been connected with. Both of my publishing deals are because I post content. I met the agents and the ARs through my content. I have gotten so many songs done. I think basically every song I've ever got done that was major, that pays me, hundreds, thousands of dollars on my publishing statement every quarter, was through content. I'm pretty sure like maybe 1 or 2 was done through like engaging with people in the studio and stuff like that. Probably a couple more than that, maybe like 5 to 10 of them. But pretty much every other one was because I was building network through content creation. Collaboration opportunities, of course, kit sales, information products, merch, as basically anything that you can think of, at least for me and for all the people that I mentor, and for, a lot of my peers. A lot of it comes through building a network through content creation. So it expands beyond just marketing, branding, and sales, which a lot of creatives are averse to, but I've not come across too many creatives that are averse to networking. A lot of creatives kind of have this intrinsic understanding, or like this kind of like inbuilt understanding of the intrinsic value of having a strong network as a creative. I don't usually have to explain that to people. I usually don't find myself needing to explain why having a strong network is very, very valuable for you. So beyond all the other things that content will allow you to do, creating a strong network and kind of building a foundation from which your network can constantly expand from is one of the most important things you're going to get out of content. So it's a really, really important thing to do. The way I recommend doing it is that you want to use short form content to funnel people to long form content. So basically you want to use IG Reels, TikToks, YouTube Shorts, posts on Threads to funnel people to some sort of value on a long form platform. Now that could be YouTube, that's my go-to, but it could also be like a long form newsletter. If you have a newsletter, I have both. And as you can literally see on this post, from this short form Threads post, I funnel people to a YouTube video where they can get even more value, a 50-minute guide where they can learn more. And then from that, long form content, that's where you get the opportunity to move people off site. So for example, AdRev, you're usually going to be doing that in your description. And so you can see here, I've got an opportunity to offsite them to my Discord where I can provide more value, market products. I have my beat making channel where I sell a lot of beats and sell a lot of kits. I've got my business inquiry Instagram where I get a lot of those network opportunities. I also have like my mentorship group. I have my Spotify where a lot of artists buy beats from my Spotify. I also have affiliate links. So this is where you get the opportunity to offsite people. So the way the content creation funnel kind of works is that you go from short form content to long form content. Then you go from long form content to offsiting your client, your lead, or your customer to where you can provide more value, whether that value is free or paid. So it could be free value in the form of, like I said, like the Discord or a newsletter or some kind of really dope lead magnet, like a free beat pack or free kits, or it could be paid value like a beat bundle. It could be individual beat leases, or it could be kits or, preset packs or whatever it is. That's how the funnel basically works. And then from there, you can scale how much value you're offering based on who's purchasing and who's declining to purchase and things of that nature. But that's getting more into like the nitty gritty of designing sales funnels, which doesn't really matter if you understand how to use the content funnel. So it's really, really, really important. And then moving off of that, that takes us into step 3, which is to create kits. Now that fits a little bit into what we were talking about already. Kits is an opportunity to offsite your producer network, your producer consumers, basically, right? So we're not talking about how to like sell or market them yet. That's a little bit further down this list, but it's very, very important to actually create them. You need to create them, and you need to create them in a way that they're made for you, right? You're not making them explicitly to sell them. You will be able to sell them. You will be able to use them to build your network. But the main thing that's going to make it really valuable, that's going to ensure that it's a really good kit, is if you actually use it. I've never made a drum kit. I've never made a preset kit. I've never made a MIDI pack. I've never made a loop kit that I didn't use or that I don't consistently use. The 16 drum kit, I use it literally in every session. 14 drum kit, I use it in every session. The after hours drum kit, I'm using it once a week. The blue bonnet drum kit, and I made that mug like 5 years ago, I still use it. Centerfold drum kit, I made that like 5 years ago, I still use it in every session. The band for band preset pack, I use that in every session, right? So I'm not making kits for the purpose of just pumping shit out into the market because I want to make money. I will make money from them. I will grow my network by putting out the free kits like the 14 drum kit or the 16 drum kit, or the other 6 packs that come with the 16 drum kit when you get my 7 kit free bundle, which you can find actually in the description below. But the selling is not the only thing you get out of it. The real thing you get out of it is making something valuable for your consumer, and it's going to be valuable for your consumer because your consumer is going to be a lot like you. That's what's going to make them resonate with the content you're making, with the music you're making, and with the products you're designing. And the way they're going to resonate with that is if you resonate with the product, right? So if you find the kit valuable, if you can't stop using it, if you can't stop cooking up with it, if you can't stop thinking about it, if you can't stop being excited for the next thing you're going to make with that kit, then it's probably going to be a good kit. And so you won't have the problem of, is it a good kit? Do I need to like test it in the market? Do I need to get feedback on it? So that's a really good way to design good kits, but that's also in general a really good way to design good products, right? So moving on from that, you're going to need a place to host your good beats from step 1 and your kits that you've made for the purpose of improving your workflow, but also as an opportunity to build your network and to make money as a producer brand, right? You're going to need a place to host all that. So I recommend using TrackTrain. It does not matter if you use Soundy or Airbit or BeatStars or TrackTrain, whatever you want to use, it's fine. I use TrackTrain. I had used BeatStars for the majority of my career so far, and then I made the switch at the beginning of this year, just because I felt that I was a lot more comfortable with what TrackTrain had to offer. And if you're familiar with some of the content I made during my saga of switching over, you'll know a little bit more about what ended up happening. But I will drop a playlist down in the description below so you can catch up on all of that if you want to know exactly why I recommend TrackTrain over BeatStars. But at the end of the day, for the most part, they all have basically the same features. So what you get is what you get. There's like a couple things different from platform to platform, although I really do feel that TrackTrain cares a lot about the producer, and they have a lot more monetization opportunities for producers, and they're continuing to develop those, whereas a platform like BeatStars more so cares about the executives making money overall, and they don't really care if that helps or hurts the producer. If it helps the producer, fine, but that they don't really care about that. And if it hurts the producer, they really don't give a fuck about that. But that's just my personal experience as a 5-year, 6-year customer of BeatStars, right? Like, everyone's experience is going to be different. And again, at the end of the day, to some extent, it doesn't really matter. Now, if you want to use TrackTrain and support this channel and support my brand, you can use the affiliate link down in the description below. You don't have to. Again, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Just pick a beat store, pick a platform to host your stuff. I actually host my kits off site now. So I host it on my own personal website, and I do a lot of my beat selling from my personal website as well, but I also do use TrackTrain to do beat selling as well. And then like a lot of stuff goes down in my Instagram DMs as well. That networking is very, very powerful. And all of that, again, only happens because I post a lot of content and I leverage my content appropriately. So moving on to step 5, you're going to want to actually put your kits and beats in the store, right? Whatever store you do end up selecting, and you're going to want to make some of them free, right? And the reason you want to make some of them free takes us to step number 6, which is that you want to use your free kits to build your list. Don't just give out the kits, right? There's kind of like the new thing now, and I used to do it too. There's like Recognize, where you can basically exchange social follows for free downloads, right? And that's really good, honestly. And social media followings are kind of like a list, but I'm sure you know this. The problem with social media is that you don't control who you can reach through social media, right? Like Instagram can just decide randomly one day, which they do every day, to only give you access to 10% of your audience, 5% of your audience, 20% of your audience. At no point, unless you pay for ads, like a decent amount of money in ads to where it's basically not going to be worth it, at no point in any other situation besides paying them do you have access to even half of your audience, right? It's usually between like 1% to like 20%. If you're really lucky, it might be like 30%, right? Whereas an email list is a list that you have 100% access to. Now, are you going to reach all 100% of those people every single time you message? No, but that's just a numbers thing, right? But you're going to reach a higher percentage on your email list than you will on your social media followings, right? So that's why I always recommend using an email opt-in as opposed to Recognize, because the contact information, the ability to build rapport with that lead is a lot more sticky, right? That social follow does not ensure that they will see when you post your kit for sale, right? They might be downloading the demo in anticipation of the actual full pack dropping, but them following you on social media doesn't ensure that they're going to actually see your promotion post. And the other thing is that when they give you the email address, you have that email address forever until they unsubscribe. And as long as you're providing value on your list, like we'll talk about in a little bit, there's not going to be a good reason for them to unsubscribe. And no one's ever going to hate you for providing value to them, right? Whereas opposed to like a social media opt-in, the only thing you can do is post content that they may or may not see, and it's a lot more likely that they're not going to see it, right? So you have a lot more power because you have a lot more control if you build an email list as opposed to doing a social media opt-in. Again, at the end of the day, it's up to you, but as someone who makes thousands of dollars a month from music production, through email lists specifically for artists and producers. And again, making that money on a daily basis from my email list and from my sales funnels that are hosted on my website and that are linked to my email list. I would personally recommend that you build an email list. If you still want to do some kind of social follow exchange at some point, that's fine. But you really want the foundation of your producer business to be based on that email list. It's a very, very powerful tool. I cannot overstate how valuable it's going to be to you in the long run. Like, I actually did an entire email marketing lesson on this channel that I will link down below. Editor Chu, please do not forget to make the card, make it appear somewhere right now on the video. It's very, very valuable stuff. You're going to want to check that out because this is a step that you don't want to mess up, that you don't want to skip. So make sure you lock in on building your list correctly by using lead magnets, basically, to create that initial contact, provide that initial value, and then that gives you an opportunity to provide more value, again, whether that's free or paid, to the lead, to the customer, to the client, right? So moving on to step number 7, you're going to want to talk about your free and paid products inside of your content. And talking about it is one thing, right? But you also just want to fundamentally demonstrate it, right? So don't stop your video in the middle to talk about your kit, right? Just use the kit, right? If you've got a beat pack for sale, don't talk about the beat pack, right? Let your content piece be a breakdown of one of the beats, right? I can't tell you how many beats I've sold by, like an artist just seeing me making the beat. One of my favorite placements, actually, with Dizzy 8, I have 3 songs with Dizzy 8, right? The only reason I have any songs with Dizzy 8 at all is because he saw my content. He literally saw a Travis Scott tutorial and he wanted the beat in that tutorial, right? And then he DM'd me for it and I was like, oh, like, I've been wanting to work with you forever. Like, you have no idea. And then he's like, bro, like, let's get it. Let's get some work in. He ends up not even using the beat that he initially saw in that video. And then he uses like 3 other beats that I sent him in packs because he started asking me for packs and stuff like that. And then one of his other homies used the beat that he actually saw in that video because he connected me to other people. So that goes back to like how powerful the content can be from like a purely networking point of view. Now, of course, it's marketing the product. It's actually marketing the product, right? It's selling the product and it's building my brand at the same time. But then it's like doing that all through like scaling my network. So it's incredibly powerful, right? And I'm not actually doing any selling in the video, right? Like, a lot of producers make the mistake of having their content be like a sales letter, basically. And you don't want to do that. What you want to do is have it be more like a newsletter, right? You just want to provide value. You want to demonstrate some really cool tips and tricks, even if it's just going to be like a straight cook up. If you can drop a couple of really dope tips or just really demonstrate prowess in a way that it's going to be valuable for people to sit down and watch it, whether that's value in the terms of inspiration, entertainment, or education, right? Sometimes it's just really entertaining. A lot of the times it's really entertaining to just see a dope cook up. And then how much more if people really want to learn what you're doing. So it's really, really valuable to do that to the point where you don't have to do any selling, right? You just have to use the product. So if you've got a free drum kit, just use it in there. Now, of course, you want to mention it. You want to let people know where they can get it, but you don't have to, do like a 2-minute break in the middle of the video to talk about the kit, go through the sounds. Like, that's a waste of time. Nobody is clicking on the video to see you click through sounds for 3 minutes, right? When you could have done all of that by just demonstrating the fucking kit, right? If it's a loop kit, literally, break down the loop in the video, then toss some drums on top of that bitch at the end. There's your fire ass cook up, right? There's your dope ass content. If it's a mixer preset pack, make a beat, then use the presets to mix the beat. You know what I'm saying? That's the idea behind all of this. Whether it's a free or paid product, that's how you want to demonstrate it, to the point where it's like, okay, take it outside of like producer products for a second. If you've got a fucking t-shirt you want to sell, right? Don't talk about the t-shirt for 2 minutes. Wear the t-shirt in the video and then stop for 10 seconds and be like, you know what? I really feel like the reason I'm cooking up some fire today is because of this new shirt I made. If you want to check it out down in the description below, it'll be right there. Then you can have like a little blurb on the link where they actually click it, where you describe like why you're passionate about this shirt and why it really inspires you. Then you can have your video sales letter there, right? Don't do all your selling in the content, right? Let the sales page do the selling. All you've got to do is sell the click, and you sell the click by demonstrating the value of the product. Once they click on that link, once you get them to click on the link, they're already kind of making most of the decision. 60% of the decision has already been made. Then if they have the money and they feel like they can trust you and your product, they're going to make the purchase, right? So you don't want to do all of the selling explicitly in the content. You don't want to sell the product, right? You want to sell the click. You want to sell the interest in the product. You don't want to sell the product itself. The product will sell itself, right? And the sales page does not have to be complicated at all. It literally just has to describe what they're getting and then tell them how they're going to get it. It's really, really simple stuff. Now, if you want to be a little bit more intricate about it, you can be. And maybe on another day, we can talk about how to like design sales pages, right? It's not a complicated thing, but if you guys would like a video on that, we could maybe do that. But the point is, and this is a really, really important thing for you to understand, you're not selling the product in your content ever. You are selling the click. In your short form, you are selling the click to the long form. In your long form, you're selling the click to a free product. Then wherever you offsite to them, whether it's your email list or your Discord, right? You're not selling a product in your Discord. You're not selling a product on your email list explicitly. You're selling the click, right? You're selling the value they can actually get if they do decide to check out your product and learn more about it. Now, of course, you can explicitly sell here and there, but the point I'm trying to make is that you don't want to stop your content to do like a sale. Like, for example, I have an 80-minute guide where you can learn how to make content in long form, right? I just made a brand new guide. It's an 80-minute guide. It'll teach you exactly how I make long form content. It'll show you exactly how I've gotten over 18 million views just on my main channel by making content. Check it out down in the description below. You see, this is a long form video that I'm making right now, and I've told you over 20 minutes how valuable making long form content can be for your brand. I mentioned the product, I move on. That's how you kind of want to think about it moving forward, right? Your content is not a sales letter. Your content is to provide value through entertainment, education, or inspiration. You sell the click, and then you let them sell themselves on the sales page, right? Pretty simple stuff. Let's move on. From there, we move on to step 8, where you want to provide value, especially on your email list or whatever other platform you might offsite people to. So for the most part, it's usually going to be an email list or a Discord platform, right? You're going to want to give people a lot of free stuff. And then that free stuff is going to allow you to contextualize your promotions and selling, right? So the golden ratio that I've observed, and I talk a lot about this in the email guide that I just dropped, is that for every one promotion that you're going to do, you want to do like 3 to 4 blast of just value, right? So if you're going to send 4 emails in a week, 3 of them should be about, value, right? Free loops, free something, helpful tips, gems about how to make progress, something inspirational, educational, or entertaining. And then that last one can be like an outright promotion, like, yo, here's a sale on one of my really dope products, which you've probably seen before, but now here's an opportunity to get it at a deal, right? So that brings us to step 9. As long as you're selling wherever you're doing it, right? It could even be on social media for that matter, right? As long as 75 to 80% of what you're giving people is pure value, no one's going to have a problem when you actually explicitly make a sale. People have a problem, if they do have a problem at all with selling, is when you're doing mostly selling without providing value, right? Because you haven't shown them why they should trust you. You haven't shown them what you have to offer. You haven't shown them that you're valuable, right? But if you contextualize your promotions, your deals, and you're selling with value, which is free to access, people are going to be far more likely to engage with it. The example that I love to use is like Sam's Club or Costco, right? They make more money than you could even ever imagine by just giving people those free samples. Like it would blow your mind to realize how much money they actually make just by doing those free samples. And the way they do it is by contextualizing whatever they're actually trying to sell in the free sample. You know what I'm saying? They have the people being super nice. They give you a nice chunk of whatever it is that they're actually trying to sell you. It could be like a really big swig of wine or beer. It could be a really hefty chunk of cake. Like they're gonna give, and a lot of times they'll give you like multiple free samples to try it, and they don't actually care if you buy it, because some percentage of people will really enjoy it because it's a good product. At the end of the day, it has to be a good product, which goes back to step number one. Your shit has to be good, right? But because it's good and because people get to sample it for free, some amount of people will see the inherent value in that free product, in that free sample, and be like, bro, I want more of this. Where can I purchase it? And they purchase it and the company makes money, right? So the important thing to take away from that example is that the selling is contextualized in value, which they offered for free, right? And so if you use this format, if you use this structure and you take what I've taught you today and apply it to your production career, there is absolutely no reason on this earth that you can't start making anywhere from, at least, bro, $50 to $100 a month. But I mean, this is literally what I use to make thousands of dollars a month. And that's outside of my publishing, which pays me thousands of dollars a month, right? And I have all those publishing opportunities. I have all of those sync opportunities because of this system that I'm talking about right now, right? And I've mentored people who have gone on to earn hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a month by using this exact system. So go out and apply it. If you want to learn it on a deeper level, consider joining my mentorship group, which you can find down in the description below. Consider also joining my free Discord, where we mentor producers and talk about a lot of cool things like anime and things of that nature. So I'll see you on the next video. Let me know what you want to learn next. Peace.